I'm going to make an addition. Yeah, so I'm moving this from the regular meeting 24-20 PSFRD Commission Seat 1, and I'm going to move it to the workshop to give everybody an update on what's going to happen in filling Mr. Shear's seat. So here's how it works. And it was not easy to come to this conclusion. Kim and I spent a lot of time talking to the supervisor of elections office, trying to make sure that we were following the proper protocol, because there were a couple of statutes that might have applied, and the timing worked out to where no one qualified for the election, for the general election for November 2024 to fill seat 1. So eventually, and I think this might be part of your packet, or maybe I'm the only one who has it, but eventually this is what we determined. There's a Florida statute 191.005, subsection 5. 191 is the special chapter for independent special fire districts, and so that takes precedent over any other election statute because it applies specially to us, and our charter adopts chapter 191. Under that part of the statute, what it says, and I'm just going to paraphrase or summarize it, what it says is that if there's a resignation before the end of a commissioner's term, which was Mr. Shear, he resigned at the end of the June meeting, but his term didn't end until after the November elections, the November general election. So the board then can appoint someone to fill his seat through to the end of his regular term. But then that would have left us putting somebody in there for 3 or 4 months, and then his term was over and nobody qualified. Well, thankfully, this section in chapter 191 that I referred to also authorizes the board, if no one has qualified to run for the election, then the board can appoint someone to fill that spot until the next general election. So the next general election will be November of 2026, according to the supervisor of elections office, excuse me. And so the district has called for applications. I believe there were a total of 2 applicants. I believe in this month's packet, you were able to get both of the applicants' resumes and applications or whatever. And so my suggestion is, you really can't, interview and vote today. It just wasn't time to invite the people to the meeting or anything. So that's why I'm moving this to the workshop, so you can decide, do you want to just look and make your decision on paper of the 2 folks, or do you want to invite them, as is normally done, the final potential candidates usually get invited to a question and answer session with the board, and then have a vote at the August meeting, and then you'd be able to install that person at the August meeting. and then you'd be back up to a full complement of 5, and you wouldn't, unless there's a recusal or something, or an abstention, you wouldn't have to have what we had today, which was the even number of voters and stalemate. So, you don't really need to do a vote on that. You just need to direct the staff that that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, put it on the August meeting agenda, on the voting agenda, and invite the folks in. They can answer questions during the workshop, and then when you get over to the voting part of the agenda, you can vote on who you want to select. But the application period has closed, so you're only going to have the 2 applicants.
Well, just to inform the commission, I will not be present, unfortunately, at next month's meeting. I'll be out of town for the whole month of July or August. So I will not be here for August. However, that plays in.
And I think that's the meeting I previously advised, I will not be at either. Is that the 20th? Yeah, I'm out of country those last 2 weeks of August.
So you will not have a quorum. You'd be down to 2, and so it looks like we're going to have to take that meeting off, because you can't really, you can have a workshop if you want, but you don't have enough to vote. You don't have a quorum.
Can we move the meeting?
What's
That
that?
meeting was moved to the 21st, correct? That was a date that was agreed upon by, okay.
I'm still out the last 2 weeks though.
Okay. So
He's out the whole month, and she's out the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
You can't attend by phone for that meeting.
This is not to make a quorum typically.
why are you out of town?
I am going out of town this Monday, 22nd through August 31st, out west.
Yeah. Not really, no. So there won't be enough to vote in August, and so you'd have to push everything to September.
No.
We're trying to budget meetings.
So also the August 21st meeting is what's listed on the tax collector's website, and shows like everything for our non-ad assessment meeting where we set the rates. It's already been publicly noticed and given to the tax collector.
All right, well, let me see if I can research and find a way that you could attend by phone. Because we have to vote on that.
Yeah, we have to, and I don't know.
There's no way to move the meeting.
I'm not sure, it's already past the deadline for the tax
Yeah.
collector. They require you to give them that notice of information well ahead of time because they publish it.
Well, more because the tax office and their rules and regulations for us adopting, whatever it is that we adopt. So I'll have to find a reason. I'm sure there's an emergency calling you out of town.
There is for that month.
Yeah. I'll make certain that there's an emergency. Okay, so that is the end of my presentation in the workshop.